Hey guys, welcome back. Obviously I'm now back in England and back at the transit here, so just a little bit of an update on what has happened. Now, if you recall my two previous videos, I was in the US and the plan had been there to stay there several months. I have been investigating a business out there, and that began way beyond. I have been investigating a business out there, and that began before the COVID. And this has been my first return journey to see what I could figure out. Anyway, bought the F250, did the video on the paint, did a driving video, and I came down with COVID. And I was quite ill with it. So that left me in a position where I had to come back to England basically. And I've sold the F250. It went up to Richmond in Virginia. And yeah, so I'm kind of back to square one. So right now the plan is basically just to hit the transit and get as much done on it as possible. I really want to get this finished. Long story short, I probably am going to sell the van after I finish it off because like I say, this trip was a complete bust and had a lot of money into it, and obviously that's gone, so I need to basically replenish the coffers, so to speak. And when this is complete, this is money in the bank, so to speak. Anyway, so yeah, I'm back at the shop and just trying to get a handle on what I'd done, where I was up to, what I'd taken off, what bits I had, what bits I needed to find, etc, etc, etc. So where we stand. Engine compartment is almost complete. All the welding was done inside of there, so that's okay. The next plan is I'm going to actually move the van back. It was stood here originally because this, whatever it is, I've forgotten what it is now. You'll have seen it in other videos, it had a wooden cab on it. Well, the cab is now awaited to be completely refurbished. That is going to be put into storage, so I can now move the van back there, and that'll kind of free up this corner a little bit. But this week the plan is gas tank, petrol tank has to come out. Cough is part of the problem. Gas tank has got to come out. Van moved back. I want the van up in the air. Then I'm going to go and wire brush the entire underside of it and hit it with hammerite. Then I've got a Schultz gun somewhere. Some of it I'm going to hit some of it with Schultz as well. Then it's going to come back down on the ground. Going to get the engine in. Before I do anything else, I want the engine in, and then that's off the pallet. I can get it all connected up and hopefully get it running. Get the diesel tank in, and then it's just hammering at the bodywork. Something I don't recall whether I mentioned it or not, I may have done, but before I start fitting the fiberglass arches, I want the engine in because that front suspension is going to drop several inches, and I don't want to put the arches on and find they're in the wrong position. Obviously there's some welding to do back here, and but the goal is I want to get this as far along as I possibly can in the next couple of weeks. Ideally we're at the beginning of July, or coming into the beginning of July. I want this ready for paint by the end of July. So it's a tall order, a lot to do. Obviously the dashboard and everything's to go back in, but yeah, the main goal is get this completely put back together as a van, and then we'll get into doing the RV camper van conversion part of it. But I want this up and running vehicle ready for paint, so that once I have the camper van part of it complete, I can then just do a quick breakdown, paint it. I've got a paint scheme in mind, you've already seen it. I'm going to do it similar to what I did the truck. Going to do white on the top down to probably here, maybe. And then I'm going to do it a nice flat black. Because when I got it done on the truck, admittedly I did it on the truck to tidy it up. But when I got it done, I just liked it so much. It was like, I want to do that on the van. And so that is the plan. Obviously, got the rear axle to swap out to get the right gear set. I've got the longer studs to put in the wheel adapters on the front. Tyres are still to sort out. I have actually got a set of commercial tyres. Don't have them here, but I have them. They're purchased. And yeah, our front suspension. Steering rack out of the other van was a little bit better, so I'm switching that over as well. And then it's brakes. And yeah, there we go. Van is drivable. But more than anything, that is the goal. I want to be able to move this van around, maybe get it in for inspection before I do the rest of the conversion. I don't know yet. But so that is where I'm at right now. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera to one side because I'm cleaning the van out. The LDV next to it is now, it's had the engine removed, that's went into another van. So that is now basically a shed, so I'm temporarily using that to store all the parts. And yeah, that's it. So, I will be back soon. Okay, so got the engine mounts in and have done wire brushed and painted the rest of the engine compartment. Still a couple of little areas up around the brake booster, but I'm switching it out for the other one because I think it is better, so I'll do that when I get into that. Yeah, otherwise, we're basically ready to, I think, I'm going to drop the gas tank next. That needs to come out, and I keep putting it off because I don't really want to crawl around under there, but I need to get it out. And yeah, the other thing is we are going to have a bit of a move around in the yard. So before I get on with the gas tank, that frame there, that truck frame, that is going to be moved. Going to move the van into there. Then what I'll do is there's various ramps and what have you kicking about the place, so I'll get the van jacked up, get all four wheels onto the ramps, and then that way it just gives me a much larger area to work. That way it gives me a much higher area to work with. So been playing around with the air horns, they work. I haven't recorded that, but I may do that later because it's annoying the neighbours. But yeah, so far so good. And once the gas tank is out, then I can hit the rest of the underside, get that all painted. That could sit overnight, and then tomorrow maybe start getting the engine sorted out and put in. If I've got time, this is not written in stone or anything, but if I've got time, if I get that underside done, I may go ahead and switch out the harness. Yeah, it's that's the old harness. I've got the new one here somewhere. It's laying around there. But basically, I'll get that in. I'm going to switch out the actual HVAC box. As I think I mentioned earlier, I'm not doing the AC on this. I thought about it a great deal, but it needs basically everything. So unfortunately it's not going to have a... It would have been nice, but it's just too much work, too much investment. So yeah, but yeah, if I get this underside sanded and painted today, then if I've got time, I am going to start on this wiring harness, and that gives me a whole day tomorrow to basically mess with the engine and transmission. Plus it gets rid of all of this here, which is the wiring harness that is to go in. So yeah, it's just coming along there. It's taken a bit of getting back into it after the US trip and everything, but yeah, we're coming along there. I think that's about it for the moment. Obviously I got a lot of the inside cleared out. This is just basically tools and stuff that I'm going to be using. But yeah, so let's get on with it. Well guys, it's been a long day, but got quite a bit done here. Obviously got the rest of the engine compartment painted, and I'm actually about a couple of feet back under the body. Obviously you can see we got it up high, so tomorrow I can get in, get the gas tank out and continue down the vehicle. However, a little bit of work in here. I now have got the wiring harness, the diesel wiring harness all in place. It's not entirely hooked up yet, but it's in there. Did run into an issue with the HVAC. Now, I am not sure if it's just the vehicles with AC or whether it's all of the later body styles, but the HVAC unit itself is very, very different. So what we've got is, this is the original non-AC air blower and heater basically. What I'm going to try and do is I've either got to modify the controls on the dashboard or figure out a way to fit this control into the vehicle, into the dashboard. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain, but you know, that's the way it goes. Around here, well, you can actually see from here, we've got the later clutch cable in and later style pedal. The reason I went with that is because it's got a manual adjuster on, and the earlier ones had the, I think the actual, there it is, had this like ratchet style automatic adjuster. Now when they work, they actually work okay. Problem is that when they don't work, you basically lose your clutch, and given the age of this vehicle, I don't want to mess about with the chance of losing the clutch. So just swap the pedal and everything over from the diesel, which had the manual adjustment on. Other than that, I think that's basically it. Yeah, battery box. Got the battery box. It's not actually, it's in place, but it's not actually bolted down yet. But messed about with that for a little while. Got that all set up nicely. On this side, of course, obviously it's not bolted in yet, but this is going to be for an auxiliary battery, which I'm putting in to run some of the internals. So, like the interior lighting and everything. This battery here will be wired up so that it will charge while the vehicle's moving, but once you stop the vehicle, this battery will isolate itself from the main battery, so that you don't run the main battery down if you're sitting with the lights on. But all the lights are going to be LED anyway, so that's an issue. But yeah, there she is. Oh, got the gas tank out, and believe me, it put up a fight. Even the van sitting at this height still needed to jack it up further to be able to twist it out of that hole. Anyway, also I've got the old exhaust system off. This one laying next to it, this is the one off the Mondeo, which I'm probably going to use one way or another. I've got to figure that out. But I didn't realise the Mondeo one was so much bigger than the Transit, but whatever. Anyway, got in down the side. Once I got the gas tank out, I realised that the sill, the rocker panel on this side was just shot. Several locations, it looked solid, but when you started poking at it, it was just crumbling. So I've basically done this entire side. I don't know how well you can see it there, but yeah, it's that's all new, nice solid metal. So this side is done. Now you may notice I have not done right at the ends here. This is because these fenders have got to be cut out, and what I'm going to do is I'll rebuild these ends to match the new fenders. So that is basically what it is. Same up the front. As you can see where the red oxide stops, that's basically where I repaired to. This end, I'll do that when I do the fenders. Now, this section here, again, this will be done when I do the fenders. So, what next? Obviously the engine hasn't gone in today, and haven't gotten the rest of the underside wire brushed either. So on this side, similar issue. You see, I've already cut some of the metal away, but as you can see, it's just bits of rot right up it. No, let's try that there. As you can see, there's just bits of rot right up there. So again, that's actually completely come away from there. But anyway, plan is same as the other side. I'll go right up this whole length, and I'll just put a plate on all the way up, and that'll take care of that. Obviously these doors are going to be replaced, and I'll do the same thing. I'll leave the ends until I'm actually working on the fender flares. And yeah, it's at this point, because of the extra work that I found, the engine isn't going in this week. I really wanted it in, but you know, running out of time. Anyway, I'm going to put the camera to one side. I'm packing up for tonight. It's 8:30-ish, give or take. I'm tired, and yeah, so I'll get it back at this first thing tomorrow morning. Good morning, guys. A little bit of a late start this morning. I don't know if you can tell, but it was raining during the night, so been watching a bit of Vice Grip Garage, waiting for things to dry up a little bit, because I'm going to be laying on the ground a lot today. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that my evil little twin sitting on my shoulders saying V8, put a V8 in it. Yeah, I know. Small block 302, 5-speed box behind it. But no. Sticking with the diesel engine. Gas prices are just off the charts, so we need a little bit of fuel economy. But a V8 will be so much fun in one of these. I've had my Mark II Transit. I'll see if I can find a photograph of it and stick it up. I had a 302 in that with a 5-speed Tremec behind it. 9-inch rear end, and oh my god, that thing was an absolute blast. No. Diesel. No, this is supposed to be straightforward. I've got to keep things simple. I'm already complicating everything anyway, doing a mild custom on it. So, no, keep it simple. That is the key to this. Keeping it simple. Yeah, right.